Hi, welcome to Prime Recap. The best warriors from different kingdoms face each other in an insane fighting tournament to decide the future of the Earth. Today we will recap the story of the movie, Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge, from 2020. When attacked by a horde of ants, a fearless scorpion gathers all his strength and struggles to survive a colossal battle. Satoshi observes the arachnid's bravery and tries to convince his father to help him. However, Hanzo claims that the animal doesn't need any help, as it is strong and fast enough to defend itself. However, according to him, what really makes the scorpion so feared is its willpower. This is what makes him the master of his destiny. In the late afternoon, after the walk in the woods, father and son return home for dinner and Hanzo realizes that there is something wrong going on in his village. An eerie silence overtakes the place and some ninjas appear by surprise to attack them. However, even with his son on his back, Hanzo manages to fight back and brutally eliminates his opponents. The man directs all his anger at the invaders, but when he realizes that new ninjas are approaching, he decides to flee with his son. They hide in one of the houses and Satoshi is disturbed to see that the residents have been massacred. Immediately, Hanzo wonders how his wife is doing and runs at high speed home. When he gets there, he finds Harumi already lifeless on the ground and hatred takes over his soul. Blinded with rage, the man goes after his enemies with a thirst for revenge and uses a sword to eliminate all those who come near. During the duel, he ends up being hit, but no injury is able to stop him from getting rid of those cowards who invaded his village and eliminated his wife. After slicing through all his opponents, Hanzo is surprised by the presence of Sub-Zero, the leader of the Lin Kuei clan. The demented man captures Satoshi and attacks the warrior with his ice power. When Hanzo is immobilized and unable to fight, Sub-Zero eliminates the boy. He then uses an ice stake to eliminate his strong opponent. Isolated in a temple in the mountains of China, Liu Kang is surprised by the unexpected arrival of an invader. Despite his opponent's incredible speed, the boy manages to catch him, and as he prepares to strike the first blow, he discovers that the invader is actually his master. Lord Raiden congratulates the boy on his performance and informs him that the time has now come for him to fulfill his destiny. But first, they need to meet with the new members of their team. Johnny Cage is a broke action movie actor who only thinks about women and money. He lives in a mansion by the beach, but lives in a complete mess. The boy has been without any work for a few months and is happy to receive a call from his manager, who reveals that he has won a new role. Now Johnny will need to make a trip to China in order to star on the big screen again. Unlike the actor, Sonya Blade is an incredibly tough former military officer. Today, she has become a street fighter and is capable of beating opponents 3 times her size. Because she is a woman, she suffered a lot of prejudice in the army, so she always strived to be the best soldier her commander ever saw, and she accomplished this goal with great success. Sonya is invited to be Raiden's new team member and eventually accepts the offer. After dying, Hanzo is sent to the underworld and is met by a demon who reveals that he is eager to beat his soul to death for all eternity in order to please his master, Shinnok. However, Hanzo does not accept his fate and decides to fight back. After freeing himself from the chains that pierced his arms and legs, he attacks the demon and uses his own weapon to cut it in half. At that instant, hundreds of enemies approach and claim that Hanzo will never make it out of that place. However, even after hearing this, the man is not intimidated and prepares to fight that legion of demons alone. Hours later, he arrives at Shinnok's throne covered in blood and meets Quan Chi, who claims to be in charge of that kingdom until his master returns. When asked about his greatest wish, Hanzo says that he wants to return home and carry out his revenge. When Quan Chi claims it is not possible to return home, the warrior attacks him, but is easily repulsed and has his body crushed. After punishing him, the demon tells him that every generation a tournament is held so that great warriors can fight on behalf of their kingdoms. Sub-Zero is one of the fighters that will be in this tournament and Hanzo can use this opportunity to get his revenge. However, in order to participate in this competition, he will have to do Quan Chi a favor. Long ago, Shinnok was imprisoned, and there is only one way to free him: to steal the key that is in Shang Tsung's temple. Quan Chi then states that if Hanzo can get that key, Shinnok will be freed and will be able to resurrect his family that was lost. In this instant, the warrior makes a deal with the demon and says that from now on he will adopt the codename Scorpion. After a long trip to China, Johnny finally arrives at the boat where his future colleagues are. The actor continues to believe that everything is just an act and decides to join in with the rest of the team. He asks where the group is going and Raiden explains that they are being taken to participate in a tournament to protect the Earth, because if Shao Kahn is the winner of Mortal Kombat, the entire planet will be in grave danger. While sailing through a ship graveyard filled with thorny rocks, the group spots a large ship approaching and Scorpion is one of the passengers. Upon reaching their final destination, Raiden and his team make their way to the mountains and must climb thousands of steps to reach the temple. As soon as they enter the place, the warriors encounter the most terrible barbarities, and Raiden advises them to be on their guard, because no one there can be trusted. To kick off the big event, Shang Tsung uses his magic to explain why Mortal Kombat exists. He says that the ancient gods used their wisdom to create a tournament to protect each kingdom from possible invasion threats. Each generation, the best warriors must fight to decide the fate of their respective kingdoms, with long life and great power being the prizes given to the winner. If a kingdom wins the tournament 10 times, it can merge with the losing kingdom and rule in any way it wants. Shang Tsung is Shao Kahn's emissary and emperor of Outworld. He has won the last 9 tournaments against Earth and intends to win again to earn the right to rule the planet of humans. Before the fights begin, the host provides light entertainment for his guests and announces a duel between a human and his best fighter. Jax is Sonya Blade's former commander and the one who trained her while she was in the army. Seeing him in danger, the woman despairs and tries to stop him from fighting, but a force field prevents her from getting close to her old friend. Soon after, Guro enters the arena and takes his first blow, but Jax's hardest punch does not do any damage to him. Once he arrives at the temple, Scorpion begins his mission to steal the key that Quan Chi will use to free his master. After eliminating the guards with his amazing fighting skills, the man enters the hiding place where the key is being kept. However, just as he is about to take it, Raiden appears and advises him not to do so. The man knows that Scorpion is just a puppet of and says that the master of the underworld cannot be trusted. He tries to convince the warrior not to take the amulet, as this would only bring new problems to the world. He then walks away and leaves the final decision in Scorpion's hands. By this time, Jax has been beaten so badly that he can barely stand, and Sonya goes into despair as she sees her friend about to die without being able to do anything to help him. She sees Jax having his arms brutally torn off by the enemy, who takes great pleasure in dismembering his body. Watching this terrifying scene, Johnny is convinced that it is all just special effects, but is delighted with Sonya's performance. Just as Jax was about to be killed, Raiden appears and helps heal the poor man's wound. Guro is furious and attacks him, but is soon repelled by his lightning. Seeing her former commander being dragged out of the ring, Sonya asks him to hang in there and says she will save him. The woman is already furious when she receives the news that Mortal Kombat is about to begin and all members of her group are sent to their respective arenas. Johnny is sent to an ancient fortress and rummages through the cupboards for food when he is surprised by a scary demon who tries to eliminate him. He tries to talk to the creature, believing it to be just a fellow actor wearing a costume, but soon realizes that the monster is intent on eliminating him for real. During the battle, a fire breaks out and an explosion occurs when the fire meets the gunpowder that was being stored in the fortress. Johnny then runs through the ruined building and is chased by his enemy, but manages to escape by jumping into a tree, and the demon ends up being buried under the rubble. In the forest, Sonya walks in search of her opponent and begins to be attacked by an invisible creature that knocks her into the swamp. The woman tries to escape, but is hit several times until she finally sees her enemy. The lizard she must fight is extremely fast and releases a corrosive liquid from its mouth. However, in hand-to-hand combat, the creature is unable to defeat Sonya, who has spent many years of her life honing her skills. She uses a vine to grab the monster's neck and removes its head without mercy. Upon receiving Raiden's advice, Scorpion gives up on getting the key and goes on a quest for revenge. He manages to capture one of the members of the Lin Kuei clan and, before eliminating him, says that he will finish off every single ninja on that island. Meanwhile, Liu Kang initiates a fight with Katana, but states that he does not wish to hurt her. After exchanging a few blows with the woman and proving himself a worthy warrior, the man asks her to listen to him and says he will do anything to defend his world. Liu Kang does not want Earth to be dominated by Shao Kahn and manages to convince Katana to surrender without him having to defeat her. Meanwhile, Shang Tsung is in his temple and congratulates Raiden on the performance of his warriors in this first fight. However, the old man claims that several members of the Black Dragon have arrived on the island with the goal of eliminating the humans. Upon hearing this, Raiden is furious and realizes that Shang Tsung is trying to interfere in the tournament, which is totally against the rules. After defeating their challengers, the 3 warriors meet and begin to think of a strategy to get out of that place alive. Excited to still be alive, Johnny hugs Sonya and gets kicked between the legs. Suddenly, the trio hears some terrifying screams and runs towards the place. When they get there, they witness a real massacre. Alone, Scorpion was able to eliminate all the powerful mercenaries of the Black Dragon group. Realizing that they are not enemies, the humans decide to team up with Scorpion to survive until the end of the tournament. While they rest around a campfire, Lord Raiden appears to pay them a visit and, although he is not allowed to interfere in the fights, gives his warriors some advice. He directs them to go to the temple where they will fight a final battle. However, they need to be on their guard because there are intruders on the island who will try to keep them away from the last round. When Raiden leaves, Scorpion directs them to hide in the forest until the end of the tournament, because they will not be able to survive what is to come. At that moment, Scorpion and the three fighters split up and go their separate ways in opposite directions. When they arrive at the temple to participate in the final fight, the trio is surprised by new Black Dragon soldiers who have been hired to eliminate them. Kengo orders his men to attack, but everyone is taken by surprise when they discover that Scorpion was infiltrating that group and helping the humans defeat their enemies. The warrior uses his chain to destroy the skulls of his opponents, and Sonya starts shooting after stealing the gun from one of the soldiers. The woman protects Johnny so that he is not hurt during the fight, and in that instant the boy realizes that he is in love with her. Meanwhile, Liu Kang uses his hyperspeed to dodge all bullets and attacks his enemies with incredibly precise blows. Realizing that his army is losing the battle, Kengo decides to intervene and starts shooting his opponents, even eliminating his own men. At that moment, Sub-Zero appears and freezes the demented man's weapon to prevent him from interfering further in the tournament. When he spots the warrior who destroyed his family, Scorpion goes for revenge and claims that he will die for what he has done. Sub-Zero doesn't recognize him and is confused, trying to figure out what harm he has done to that man. Not knowing why he is being attacked, the warrior defends himself and freezes his opponent's chains. Scorpion has his body pierced by an ice dagger, but soon regains his advantage by destroying his enemy's arm. After striking him several times, the underworld fighter jumps off a cliff with Sub-Zero in his arms and both have their bodies pierced by a spiky rock. Meanwhile, Kengo tries to escape, but Sonya goes after him and Johnny decides to accompany her. Then Liu Kang makes his way alone to the temple. When Scorpion is about to die with his body stuck in the rock, Quan Chi appears and claims that he is weak just like his wife and son. The current leader of the underworld reveals that it was not Sub-Zero who eliminated his family. In fact, Quan Chi used magic to hide his identity and pretended to be Sub-Zero to make the Lin Kuei clan follow his orders. After revealing the truth, the demon leaves and returns to the temple, leaving Scorpion for dead. However, his thirst for revenge is strong enough not to let him give up. Sonya follows Kengo into the dungeon and finds Jax tied up there. The woman then decides to save her friend, but to do so she must defeat a legion of demons hungry for human flesh. She manages to land a few blows, but is soon surrounded by the monsters and is about to be devoured when Johnny shows up to help her. The boy manages to save the girl from the enemy's clutches and gets rid of the demons easily. As soon as he recovers, Sonya joins him in the battle and the pair eliminate all those who cross their path. Next, Sonya goes to settle accounts with Kengo, but the man defends himself with his laser beam. At this point, the warrior manages to dodge the attack and uses a steel hammer to strike her enemy. Now that the leader of the Black Dragons has been defeated, Sonya enlists Johnny's help to save her old friend and leave that place. When he arrives at the temple, Liu Kang goes straight to Shang Tsung's room, where he meets Raiden and Quan Chi. The host then calls Guro to fight the boy, who is seriously injured by having his body thrown against the wall. During the duel, Shang Tsung asks Quan Chi to fill the goblets with wine to toast his victory, but the demon poisons the drink before delivering it to the host. After taking several brutal blows, Liu Kang manages to recover and attacks four arms with his fire kicks. Guro ends up being buried and, after getting up, awakens all his fury. His ferocious punches destroy his opponent's bones and, while watching the massacre, Shang Tsung unmasks Quan Chi. The Emperor reveals he knew he was trying to poison him, all to get the key to free Shinnok. While trapping Quan Chi with his magic, the old man orders Guro to finish off his opponent. Liu Kang was about to suffer the same fate as Jax when Scorpion appears and pierces the giant's skull with his gun. Shang Tsung states that from now on, Scorpion is his new champion and promises that if he defeats Liu Kang, he can have his revenge against Quan Chi. The two challengers then get into position. However, instead of attacking the boy, Scorpion uses his hyperspeed to capture the damned old man. After getting the key, he surrenders and hands the victory to Liu Kang. After being defeated, Shang Tsung leaves and the island begins to crumble. Now that they have accomplished their mission, Liu Kang and Lord Raiden leave while Scorpion begins a duel against the real man who destroyed his family. He is about to be choked with his own chains, but manages to escape and pierces Quan Chi's body with his swords. He then uses his chains to rip off his enemy's arms and pierce his chest. Before he dies, Quan Chi claims that his master will avenge his death, but Scorpion is undeterred and removes his head. After getting his revenge, the warrior's head goes up in flames and he sets his enemy's body on fire while waiting for the temple to collapse completely. Before the island is destroyed, Raiden and his group return to the boat they came from and manage to leave the place. As he watches the Mortal Kombat arena being destroyed, Liu Kang laments that he was not able to defeat Goro. However, Raiden tries to reassure him and states that his destiny was not to defeat the Four Arms, but Shao Kahn, who is Shang Tsung's Grandmaster. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.